Stream is up.
So that means I have to wait like a minute. I'll finally be there.
Alright, so, last time we had a big chat. We all talked about what we have been enjoying and what could be improved on, and what it is we're looking for in the game to try and get everybody on the same page. Not an easy discussion to have at any point in the game, but, you know, again, it's mostly about making sure everybody's having a good time and getting what they want out of it. So, I'm really glad that we had that discussion, so once again, thank you for participating in that with me, as I try to give you the best game I can. And thank you all for being part of this game with me. It's fun. So, after we finished that discussion, you guys went on to have some heart-to-hearts. You wanted to discuss your next moves now that you've been released from the custody of the Tuka High Council, and await their decision on your cart and the goods contained within. Nelia and Naravar have stated their intention to return to Bromdor this night, as the situation there is still uncertain, and Nelia is worried about her assistant Claire. The rest of the group, after some prodding from Lorelei, the sprite, returned to the Silver Dragon Inn to have their discussion, as Cyrus pried Leah for information about the blue-handed people who tried and succeeded at killing him.
A most painful process.
So, a great deal of conversation was had, and then people retired for the night for their first long rest in several sessions. So, it is now finally the morning of the 16th, I believe. Is that right? Or did I get that wrong still? Sorry. Oh, is it the 17th now? It's the 17th. Morning of the 17th.
You wake up in the morning of the 16th. The dragon has yet to arrive, and
So we're not doing a Groundhog Day for this one. Although, damn, would that be interesting.
No.
Keep that one on the back burner.
I mean, yeah, I'd be down for that. That'd be fun sometime.
A magic time trap.
Would be a good, like, one-off.
Yeah, that'd be an interesting thing. So
No, this is where you have that jump cut, like, it's like, wouldn't that be an interesting idea? And then jump cuts to Tristan later going like, oh, well, it seemed like a good idea at the time.
we're all like, we're all dead, nothing works.
Yeah, we'll be alive again in a few minutes.
I think this is how the rooms break up. Something like that.
Close enough.
Okay. So, you all have the benefits of a long rest. Hooray. You may click that long rest button on your D&D Beyond character sheets.
That I totally have open and prepared.
You should probably open and prepare it just in case. You never know, you might have to make a skill check.
You know, I usually prepare everything way ahead, but this time I completely forgot.
Well, now is your chance to correct that mistake. You all feel rested and a bit uneasy in the wake of the previous day, probably. You'll have to determine how your characters feel. But you know that none of you was woken during the night, and you haven't yet had the visit from the council that you might have been expecting. One thing of note, Jebel, you'll notice that you are not alone in this bed.
That's creepy.
Now it's about time.
There is a warm mass in the bed next to you, like pressed right up against the side of your body.
Oh,
Ooh, no pillow of solitude.
No pillow of solitude.
No, I'm the double pooped the bed.
Please keep it in.
Jebel pooped the bed.
Wow.
Keep it classy, Thomas.
Please. No. Checking the under the blanket, you do find that there is a group of small rodents in the bed, curled up against you. A mixture of mice, rats, and some kind of odd sand squirrel thing. It's not like any rodent you've seen before.
Go for it.
Okay.
You don't recognize any of these animals.
Alright, are we all in the same room?
I have moved the character icons into how you guys often divvy yourselves up between rooms. So, there's 3 in your room. 4 beds.
Okay. I will gently slide out of bed.
Okay. As you do so, the rodents will, like, unwind themselves from their warm ball and watch you as you climb out of the bed.
And I'm going to just look around the room and just see if I can see any signs of how they got in, or if they left anything like sand or dust trail along the ground. Or
Yeah, you can see that there's a bit of sand, dust, dirt, any mixture of that kind of collected under the door and scattered across the floor, leading to the bed.
And I'll go back over to the bed, kind of look at them and go, using, what's it called? I can speak with animals thing.
Is it the racial one?
Yeah. Oh, what's it called?
I don't remember.
Speak with
the
small beings.
There you go.
Hello.
They kind of cock their head one side to the other at you, their tiny black beady eyes glinting at you, and one of them, squeaks at you, and you understand him as he says, "Hello."
Can I help you with something?
You're warm and familiar feeling.
Well, I can't argue with the first one, but I don't understand the second one.
Well, we felt you when you came into the city, and so we came looking.
Okay. Are there any more of you?
Oh, yes. Our families are large. We came on their behalf. We wanted to see who you were.
Oh, well, I'm Jebel.
Jebel. And you can sort of hear them, like, exchanging your name back and forth among them. He turns back to you and says, "I'm Quicksprint."
Oh, nice to meet you, quick friend.
Why do you feel the way you do?
I don't know. How do I feel?
Safe.
Oh, I wonder. Well, I'm a druid.
They, seem to be conferring again in squeaks and chitters, and what they Quicksprint turns back to you and says, "Wait, you're one of the naturals."
Yeah, I suppose so. That sounds accurate.
You're a humanoid that can talk to us. And you care about us, don't you?
Yeah.
My family has stories about people like you. Humanoids.
I'd like to hear them.
I can help you. If you'll protect us.
I don't know how well I can protect a large group, but I can try. First piece of advice, probably get out of the city.
Is there something wrong? There was a terrifying beast yesterday.
Yeah, I think that's going to come back at some point. Not sure when.
Many of us have only known this city. Most of my family was born here.
I know it can be scary to leave home. I'm not from here. I'm very far from home.
If we go towards the morning sun, it is only desert, with snakes and scorpions that will eat us.
Yeah, I don't like that direction either.
And if we go where the sun sets, it is water, where we cannot survive.
Yeah, this is going to take some... Well,
Help us.
I'll do what I can.
They seem to chitter happily about that. Have you got any food?
Hang on, let me just check something out. Let's see, do I have...
Raiken and Cyrus, Yukikaze and Cyrus, you guys are awake as he's chittering at these dirty-looking mice that are sitting on his bed, chittering back at him.
What are you doing?
Oh,
Too
was
early.
it Yukikaze? And I'll walk over to Yukikaze's bed and go, do you have that bag with the food? Or is it the box with the food? Box with the food?
Why do you want something like that right this second?
And I kind of point back to, they're hungry.
They're mice.
And rats.
Yes.
Why?
You didn't hear that part.
Yeah, I know I didn't. Why do I have to give them food?
Because they're hungry.
Give them some of your food then.
The box is magic food.
Exactly.
Jeb, we shouldn't be picking up random animals. If you give them food, they're just gonna stay around.
Hmm? Jebel just kind of looks a little bit exasperated, you know. And he's just like, what do you think my job is? I'm supposed to protect nature.
But you want those poor little mice to be with us on this dangerous adventure.
As you're lecturing him, a small mouse head pops out of the collar of his nightshirt, and its beady black eyes stare up at you, Yukikaze.
You mean my armor?
You're
that I
wearing
can't-
your armor to bed!
Because I can't take it off for more than a minute.
You're right, you can't. Out of the collar of his leather armor. You feel its warm, soft body squeezed into your armor with you.
I just kind of like glance down and then just look back at Yukikaze.
Fine, but you're help me put on my armor then.
Yeah, okay.
He's a scary lizard. Is he going to eat us?
I doubt it. I doubt
Some
it
of
very
us are
much.
still trying to sleep. Quiet you.
You're awake because it's wake-up time. Not because he was being
Yeah.
loud.
Well,
And I like to sleep in.
so I'm gonna be slowly getting up, you know, wake up attitude, slink over to my stuff.
You
I'll
guys
rustle
can
around.
slinky.
I'll rustle around in my stuff, and I'll give him the box. I'll take the box out, take a few things out of it, and hand it to him.
All right.
May I pose a question
To whom?
to, I guess, about whether or not he'd have the box? Because didn't he give his stuff to Leah to put in the bag of holding? Since he doesn't have a
Oh,
backpack?
that's true. Do I have that right now? That's a good question.
I guess the
Do you
question.
not have a list of your equipment?
So okay, I mosey around in my equipment area with what few things I have, and then I'll look at Joe and be like, alongside, I don't have that at the moment.
Who has it?
Probably Leah, because I asked her to hold my stuff in her bag of holding because I
Okay.
got melted.
No, I got melted.
I
both
did
got melted.
too.
And then Jibble's just gonna walk out the room.
Where the hell is he going now?
Probably to get the bag of holding.
Uh,
I'm going back to bed.
Why
If you wanna
doesn't
deal
he-
with him? Feel free.
why doesn't he go downstairs and just get something from downstairs?
As he
I don't know.
leaves
How
out
do
the
you
door,
tell
you'll
that?
notice that the rodents from the bed will climb down and go after him.
I don't know if you creatures understand me, but you're safer in here.
And one of them stops as it gets up to the door and looks at you. It twitches its little whiskers on its nose at you, and then it squeezes under the door.
Worth a try. They seem to understand him.
He was chittering.
It's early. I'm not paying close enough attention.
So, what do you do, Jebel?
I'm knocking on the door.
Okay. The 4 people in this room are waking up, so there is a knock at your door. Vendor, your bed is closest to it.
Yeah, I'll open the door.
It's Jebel.
How much is he opening the door? Just
He opens the door, sees Jebel, and just closes it, hoping that Jebel didn't notice.
Yeah. He's not very observant.
You open the door and see Jebel standing out there.
Just see all the mice around him.
You see the one sitting on the shoulder, the pauldron of his armor, the epaulette of his armor.
When did you get a pet?
Oh, they found me last night. And remember, I already had a
Right.
squirrel.
There's
Yeah,
a
I
squirrel sitting on the other epaulette of his armor.
Everybody gets fucking pets at me.
You had a pet, and then you got it dead.
I had a pet for 30 seconds.
Yeah,
That
that's because you got it dead.
It had a royal funeral.
A royal funeral.
No, it
It's buried with
crashed
the
on the
king and the
royal
queen.
funeral.
Oh, goodness. Alright. So, yes, you see Jebel standing outside the door. There is a mouse on one of his shoulders, a squirrel on the other, and as you further inspect the scene, you see that there are a couple more rodents running up behind him and clinging to his trouser legs.
Hi. Good morning.
How many of them do you have?
There's 6 there.
I'm just gonna look down and then look at the shoulder and just yeah. Well, there's these ones, and then apparently there are more.
More? Why do you have them? Where did you get them?
Oh, they came to me.
What?
Yeah, they came to me. I think they want my help. Is Lee awake?
What?
Leah, do you have that food box thing?
The food box?
The one that Yukikaze had. I think we got it here, actually, from those mages.
I'll very sleepily start checking the bag of holding without even realizing why he's asking.
You're able to.
Probably just wants breakfast.
You're able to produce the box from the bag. You still have all of
Okay.
Yuki's stuff in there.
Oh yeah, it's just marked as Yukikaze's stuff.
So you hand him the box?
I do.
Okay. So
Alright.
you now have this wooden bento box with a ribbon wrapped around it.
I'll just hold and go like, how does this thing work again?
Don't you just take food out, and then when you close it and open it again, there's more food?
Yeah, wait, is it indefinite? Does it have charges?
I don't know. Ask Yukikaze.
I believe it can only produce a certain amount of food each day, but Sam is not remembering the number of medium-sized creatures that it feeds in a single day.
10.
Is it 9 or 10? Okay. But it is more food than we, as a group, will need in a day, unless we're also feeding animals.
The bag that the group had
Large animals.
the bag that the group had before was for 5 people. This one was intended for like military detachments. So it's compact. The food it produces is high protein, high energy, and it's made for 10 people.
Okay, excellent. And then I'm just going to take it and walk back into my room. Before I do, I'll go like, oh, Lermindus, I want to ask you something later. And then I'll head back into my room.
Okay.
Cryptic. Alright, so Jebel heads back over to this room. I tell him you're going back to the bed where the animals
Yeah.
are going to gather around you.
I'm going to open the box and take out enough to feed the ones that are there.
They're all going to nibble at like rice balls and mostly the rice that's on any of the foods that you hand them, especially in things like sushi or anything like that you pull out. And then a couple of them are going to grab larger things and begin hauling them away.
I wake up with the smell of food. I attempt to get food.
Well, he's sitting on his bed with a box of food and a bunch of rodents taking from the box.
Never mind. I'm not hungry.
Well, I'm handing the food out. I'm not. They're not going into the box.
One of them is.
Oh.
Do you stop it?
One of them snatches
Probably
up
not.
an entire onigiri and says, "Thank you."
You're welcome.
Runs across the floor with it.
I'm gonna clean that later. When I'm
Uh,
allowed.
You come find me if you need me later.
The last one who's still with you will say, "It's good to finally meet another natural, to meet a natural. I wasn't sure that there were any more. I'm certain that if you find more of our kind, they will help you."
That would probably be very helpful.
Word of you is going to spread around the city fast.
Oh, I hope that's a good thing.
ideas what will be.
Yeah. Are they finished with the box?
The others have left. The only one left is Swift Sprint.
Sprint. Do you want anything else?
He indicates a clump of rice in his paws and says, "This will be enough for my family for
Excellent.
a while."
Well, there'll be more if you need it.
As I hear this, it's like,
I don't know if you really understand, because the...
well, no, I can hear you. Well, oh wait,
No,
this
they're both like
squeaking at each other.
Yeah, it's all mouse
Okay.
speak.
I didn't know if the mouse understood him while he was speaking normal, and then he got
Yeah.
all
No,
mouse
no.
speak. All good. Continue.
He's going to put that in his mouth and head for the windowsill.
Take care.
We'll watch for you.
Okay, excellent.
And he disappears through the window. At which point I think that your friend the squirrel would try to talk to you. He says, "So, it's finally happening. You're finally being recognized by the animals you protect."
Now, what does that mean? Or what will it mean?
As you were trained by Gliss, that all druids have an inherent connection with nature, but it strengthens over time. Through great deeds, you can attune yourself better to the energies of Amaranta. And the wildlife will recognize that. If you continue to work to protect them and this world, they will help you to do so. This is an important point in the life of a druid.
Okay, okay. Probably not the best city that this could have happened in, to be honest.
How will you help them?
I don't know. I'll have to think of something.
It narrows its small black eyes at you and says, "Gliss trained you well. You will find a way." It's all squeaking.
Yeah.
Yep. During that, though, I would like to have gone squeak, 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 squeak. Kid. What I say?
Just insulted its family.
I just imagine Raiken poking his head into the room at that moment to say that.
And for the record, like, he doesn't actually make squeaking noises. He literally just says squeak a number of times.
I'm well aware, Kronk.
Yeah.
It's all you, Thomas.
Oh, what was the last thing? It was...
The squirrel told you it had confidence in your ability to protect the wildlife here.
Oh, thank you. Well, I won't let you down. I won't let Bliss down, and I won't let Syl down. I definitely won't let them down. And I kind of gesture towards the window where they quickly in swift sprint.
Swift sprint.
Swift sprint.
It's fun to say.
While they're talking, I'd like to subtly cast Detect Thoughts on the squirrel. Since they seem to be having a conversation, I want to see if I can tell what the squirrel is thinking about saying.
Ooh, nice.
Iris has a brain aneurysm.
You just see numbers. So many numbers.
The plot
You have no
well.
idea what these numbers refer to. There's just a multitude. The squirrel?
Yes, on the squirrel specifically. If that doesn't work, I'll switch it over to Jebel.
Yeah, you're bombarded with a chaos of thoughts, but at the front is mostly, the squirrel seems to be considering how best, to gently guide the development of a druid.
Squirrels is
Worth it.
You keep getting flashes of forest that you don't recognize, and the name Gliss.
Alright.
And lots of gnomes.
all licking their eyebrows.
A lot of them. They do that.
That was one of the things he is not allowed to do anymore.
Yeah, but I was not that person. I'm still allowed to do it.
Well, alright. Since I'm not getting actual words, I'll switch it to Jeb, but most of the conversation's over at this point.
You can tell him whatever your surface thoughts are. I assume you spent... This is a... What? Second level spell? First level spell?
It's a second level spell, plus basically half of a first level spell, to make it quiet.
Cool. Jebel, if you've got any surface thoughts, then you should probably share them, since they're being read.
He's probably thinking about how he would go about helping all of these animals in the city. And he's thinking about the dragon attack, and all the all of that's coming together.
A chaos of thoughts.
As it's happening, like, Jello, you gotta help me.
Oh yeah, right. And
You realize
Well, why?
he's
You
not tall enough
didn't
to help you, right?
then the
Uh,
thoughts turn to, how do I put this armor on?
Cyrus, I can kneel down and stuff. I don't need to be standing the whole time for each piece.
And Chilla can stand on the bed.
Yeah, there's that too. Oh, you're not here. Shh.
Walls are very thin.
Vendar just pokes his head in at that moment to share his thoughts.
He could actually probably do that with the way he can
You guys
move.
talk real loud.
I'm being quiet.
It's a Dragonborn thing.
Hey, Jebel, how'd you become a druid anyways?
Oh, it's a bit of a story. So while I'm helping Yukikazu with his armor, so I was out one night. By my village, there's a couple of hills, and I like to go out there and just lie, stare at the, look at the sky, look at the clouds, and play my lute. And one day I did that, and I was attacked by a wolf. And yeah, I had to kill it. And I reach in to, I pull from underneath the armor around his neck. There's a wolf's tooth on a string. I was like, yeah, this wolf. I almost died, and afterwards I met Gliss, another gnome, and he told me that the wolf was actually sick. That I think its entire pack might have been sick with something. That like this wolf was from miles away, and whatever sickness it had caused it to go way away from its home. So he was going to sort it out, and I offered to help, and he said, "No, it's all right. Like, there's nothing I could do." So he went off, and after a while, he came back, and he was, by his own account, he was impressed by my willingness to help, by my concern, and he offered to train me up. So he trained me. We traveled all around the place. I've seen a lot of animals, and he's told me an awful lot about them. I saw a dragon being hatched one time. That was cool.
Where?
What kind of dragon?
Yeah.
Just 1 second.
Also, did you want to
Copper.
be?
It was a copper dragon.
Cool.
Now, did you just really want to be trained, or you just decided to go with the flow?
It felt like something worth doing. Like forest gnomes are nature is important to us, so a role that protects nature is, if someone offers you that, like that's you don't turn that down.
Is
Okay.
that how you know to squeak at the beasts?
Oh no, that's just a gnomish thing. Well, forest gnomish thing. Rock gnomes don't know do that.
Really? I was always under the impression it was simple ideas, not full conversations.
Well, some conversations are made up of simple ideas. You string enough of them together, you get big ideas.
Suppose that's fair.
Anything else?
No, pretty sure that covers it for me. Unless, of course, you happen to know more dragons.
No, I think that was the only one.
Okay.
I think you know more dragons than I do.
I mean, I think we're tied at this point.
Well, I know
Actually,
one.
Oh, you know more than I do. I don't know
Really?
Selphars.
Hmm?
Were you with the group when they met Selphars?
No.
Okay, then yeah, we're tied. You know one, I know one.
Well, technically, you guys know two.
I look at you.
I don't think that one counts.
The blue one that showed up, that was it blue?
Well,
No.
Well, that would
if we
be
count the
3.
ones that have tried to kill us, then we know 3.
Yes. Okay, yeah, that's right. I'm only thinking the ones that tried to kill us. They're in the forefront of the mind right now.
So, any plans for today?
Yeah, we went over them last night. Do you not remember?
Honestly, no.
Help prepare the city, go to the meeting, check on the mail, see if any of it survived. None of that rings a bell?
It does now. I
Also,
just
ask
fucked
a
it up
simple
because I don't think
thing.
any of the mail is for me, so.
Well, you don't seem like like a homebody, so I wouldn't be surprised if there wasn't any.
None of us are at home. None of us are at home.
Yes, but never mind.
You know, I do have a home, right?
Yeah, I know. Seen it too.
Just lives under a rock in the forest.
Pretty much.
Yeah, not the best looking place, but yeah, home's home.
Dude, you just dissed your home.
Let me see my home.
I have my ways. Every once in a while, I can see into the past. It's a neat trick.
Yeah, I can do that too. It's called a memory.
No, it doesn't have to be mine. It doesn't have to be mine, though. That's the difference. Anyways.
Is that a halfling thing?
Nope. It's a sorcerer thing.
Ah. That's cool. Oh, if we find that jerk who took my gold platinum, maybe you can use it on him.
I'd forgotten about it for just a minute. I was hoping we could move on. Oh well.
No, I need that money.
Well, I'm gonna go see about some breakfast. That's not rodent covered.
Okay. And I'll finish helping Yukikaze with his armor.
Some backstory. And some armor getting on. What about the rest of you four over here? What are you up to after you were disturbed for food?
Going to get food.
I think I would go to get food and see if Leah was ready to head to the temple, because I believe that was our errand.
Yes, as soon as I've eaten.
Nobody has to help you. Raiken get his armor on, so you can all just go to breakfast.
Yeah.
Alright.
Raiken is self-sufficient.
Raiken don't need that anymore.
So are all four of you going down to eat at the inn's tavern?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna be double checking myself because Jebel hasn't really helped with this much before.
Okay.
So I'm tugging on each piece, making sure it's all snug.
It all comes off.
I mean, for the most part, it's okay. There's like a loose strap here or there that you have to point out because you still can't reach them. But in the end, it all gets done.
And you take one step and the suit just falls entirely off.
But like it stays completely intact when it's off. So like it falls off you into a completely put together suit of armor. It's extremely impressive.
Yeah, it is. I don't know how that would work.
Magic.
So Cyrus, you go down and find that they are already eating eggs and bread and water, all mixed together in a bowl. I'm kidding.
There are no eggs.
There is no bowl.
The bread is the ball, so I mean it's
a very
sorry to
forward-thinking
misrepresent the
establishment. They invented sourdough and scooped it out, and then filled it with gruel.
Ugh.
Which is really just more bread mixed with water. But if you close your eyes, you can almost trick yourself into thinking it's matzo ball soup.
And that's what prestidigitation is for.
So you don't have to close your eyes.
When I was younger, I didn't know what gruel was. So when I tried to make it, it was just like blocks of cheddar cheese in milk. It's like, yeah, I suppose this is right.
Sounds right to me. Alright, so Cyrus, you go down, and the other 4 are already eating. And then several minutes later, the other 2 will join you.
I will also look at guys like also could one of you guys cover me for food, please?
Yeah.
Wait, I'll think about.
No, then.
Does Jebel still have my box? I was like, hey, actually, I could snag that from Jebel.
Yeah. Get some of that rodent food.
Jebel, did you bring the box down or leave it upstairs?
I left it on the bed.
Thought so.
I'll go up and get it.
And then bring it down and eat at the table.
Yeah, I'm gonna clean it up.
Okay, as soon as you do that, I'm gonna be like, isn't that a little rude?
What? You see the bartender, the tavern keeper, like, standing behind the bar, not looking pleased.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I'm still gonna go get it, but I'm not gonna eat from it.
Oh, no, I waited to say that until you sit down and start pulling food out of it.
Yeah.
Because I don't
Oh, okay.
No, you did clearly say. So, yeah, I just waited until you got back.
I'll realize that and kind of like find the nearest way spot, throw the little food away, close the box, and smile and be like, "Can I have a helping, please?"
Give me some of that gruel.
Give me that gruel.
Please, sir, may I have some more? So you're going to bum a meal?
Yeah, I'm gonna ask someone to pay for a meal. I did ask someone to pay for a meal.
Oh yeah, someone's gonna have to pay for mine as well until we find that.
Didn't you eat upstairs? I say quietly.
No, I didn't.
Then what do you want the box for?
The rats.
I'm sorry, the what?
I got something outside. I'll be right back.
Forget me asking.
Where is he? Where's fucker? Where's Cinema? He's around here somewhere. There he is. I found him.
On the side of the town.
This was yesterday. Well, that's not his establishment. Where's his establishment? There it is. Found it. He was just bringing out, like, eggs. I'm sorry, the what?
The rats.
There are no rats! And he says this pointedly, looking around the room, in my establishment.
No, they're gone.
I'm gonna get a drink. Be right back.
I mean, you're outside. You said you wanted to be
Yeah,
outside.
this time was actually Derek saying that, not Cyrus.
What are you talking about?
Rats.
Not so loudly. What? Where? When?
Oh, they're in the city. Apparently there are a lot of them in the city.
He looks at you, and the expression on his face tells you, in more words than you realize the face could convey without using its mouth, that he hates you and that you're dumb. Of course, there are rats in the city. But you came down from my upstairs. What rats?
Oh no, they're gone now. They left.
Who let them in?
I think they let them in. Hold on, I want to just quickly roll nature. Not great. Surprisingly. That's a 19. I suppose with a 19 I understand the collapsible nature of a rat skeleton.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I turn around and be like, do you know rats can collapse their skeletons so that they can fit
I mean,
into
you've
like tight
literally
spaces?
been a rat to do that.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm getting a cat. He's going to set the plate down with eggs on it hard so that they kind of slop over the side. And he's going to leave.
He goes out the front door.
Mm-hmm.
Like, is he going to get that cat right now?
Looks like it.
Determined.
Way to go, Jebel.
Must not like rats.
I didn't even get my eggs yet.
Oh, that's not what you just put down?
Those were. I thought that was someone else's eggs. I'll take it.
There is a plate of eggs that's sort of sprayed onto the table a little bit.
How many eggs are on the plate?
About 8.
Well, I'll take.
I'm back.
I'll eat.
The real question is how many eggs are left after Raiken eats them.
Well, I'll take 2 of them before he gets them.
I'm back. Are there any eggs left for me?
You like whap him on the hand? No,
is
first.
to be determined. Raiken eats all 6 of the remaining. Literally just picks the plate up, puts it down.
I see it is like a second I
Time per
walk into the
second.
door. Like, oh, man.
You know that while you were waiting outside for the fireworks to settle down, the doors smashed open, and the proprietor of the establishment stalked out and down the street.
What did you guys do?
Oh, that's my fault.
Did you not apologize? Of course you didn't. Why am I asking?
Well, yeah. So the owner of the place found out about Jebel's new friends.
So much for having a nice reputation in town. Well, it won't hurt the whole reputation, but it doesn't help.
Yeah, we'll be alright.
The other
I'll
people
sit
who
back down
were,
and eat whatever food's left that I, had.
the other people who work the establishment are still serving, bringing out foods to people who want it in exchange for monies.
How much does feeding 3 people cost, since I'm evidently paying for 3 meals?
3 people at this place?
After a dragon attack?
3 platinum. Super overcharge you.
You're looking at a gold piece.
Alright. I will mark off 1 gold piece.
Thank you, Cyrus.
And I'll mark off a second one, say, sorry for any inconvenience, and ask him to pass that along to the guy who stormed out.
The people bringing food out just sort of nod and say, okay, we'll pass it along.
And Kebla is going to hand Larmendis a piece of paper.
Okay. Laramendus looks at the piece of paper.
Hold on a second.
It's just a blank piece of paper.
It's a secret.
It's a note. And if you flip it over, it's a letter.
Oh my
cute.
god.
Is that a SpongeBob reference?
Yes. Also, I got this message.
What does the note say?
It's the one that I told you. Right?
Oh,
I'll send it to.
yes,
I'll
yes.
just send it.
I remember the message you sent me.
Yeah, I'll just send it to Sam.
Okay.
Excuse me.
And I'll just say, would you happen to have a lend of any of that?
Do I?
Oh, mystery, what's on the paper?
Sessions. No.
Oh.
I would need to acquire some, although I believe we might be able to get around that, possibly. I'm not sure if that would be a wise use of resources, but
Oh, right, yeah, and Jabba like taps the side of his nose. I get you.
Right.
Probably
Poison
not.
for Cusco. So, you know, this is all a social scene, so it's reliant on you guys.
Luka causes munching.
Munching and crunching.
So, people remember the plans for today?
Remember I mentioned a mid bag. And I would also like to find a temple, Bahamut, or a place for my fellow.
Yeah. Looks like you and me should be traveling buddies then, because I also need to shop and I wouldn't mind stopping by a temple.
Sweet. Sounds like a plan for us then.
I believe that Leah and I were the only ones with immediate business at the Temple of Ione, but if anyone else had research that they wished to spend time with, that would seem reasonable.
Do you remember the questions we're trying to get information on?
Laramendus most certainly does.
Yeah, I figured.
We wanted to talk with the clerics about fairly powerful divination spells to be cast to determine
To give us
if
a better idea of where the
things-
armor might be.
Yeah, if the things that we're looking for are where we think they are, and any more precise thing we can get, and if the groups that we have been dealing with have been working together in or something like that.
And
Yeah, I said that we could just listen to the recordings,
And
but
did you?
no. I was busy. There's a cat right here. She's adorable. She's sleeping.
Is there any point we should also meet up and maybe see what's going on about our stuff?
Yeah, I want my gun back.
The council knows to find us here. We can either leave the whereabouts of one of our group with the people working at the establishment so that we can be found, or someone can stay here if they would prefer.
Best leave them your whereabouts. You're the one that can get in contact with us.
I also know where you're going.
It is
Oh.
likely that I will stay in one place.
Yeah.
And there was one other question. If there is means left at the end, I don't want this to be a priority. But if there's still the ability to ask this, I want to know if my father is still alive. Because if one ancient dragon's already fell, I don't know if my father has as well.
We can see if they are even capable of taking the time to cast our spells in the first place. But
Indeed.
I can certainly discuss with them.
That's all I ask.
Is anyone against Cyrus and I just going out and getting our stuff?
Do you have the means to acquire the goods you're seeking?
Well, yeah.
I do, unless he wants the most expensive backpack in the planet.
No, I am
I need a gold-plated backpack.
No, Cyrus,
It's very heavy.
I am thankful if you would provide assistance, and I am a very conservative person, so anything that just will be ample enough to carry what I usually carry will be perfectly fine.
Alright.
Was there any other shopping that other people had needed that could be picked up, or anyone else who wished to go along with them?
And also, either before or after we go to the Temple of Bahamut for Yukikaze, we need to go by the post office.
Well, I would need to go to the market to pick up supplies for spells.
If you give me the money, we can pick it up for you while we're there.
Okie doke. I don't know how much money I'm supposed to give.
Either enough to cover or all of it.
I don't know how much is enough to cover it.
Well, what is it that you want?
Holy water.
That's 25 gold per vial at normal prices.
Let's see. You know, we can. I'll look at it and we can continue the story, and I can take the gold from my stuff and whatever.
All right.
Probably just holy water and powdered silver or iron. That's probably it. How much would that be?
Well, don't you usually buy them, so you have a general idea of the price?
I haven't really used the spells for this, so.
Oh,
What
okay.
spell what do you want that requires powdered silver and iron?
Protection from evil and good.
That doesn't have a cost. It's free. You
That
just
has a
use your holy
cost.
symbol. And
Well,
same
then-
goes for anything that requires holy water, if it doesn't list a price.
Okay, fine. Then I don't need anything.
I mean, am I wrong, Tristan?
I wasn't paying attention because I'm filling in something that's for other things on the game.
If the material component don't actually have like a, or not by the spell, I think you can use a focus instead.
If the spell components do not have a listed price in the spell, you
And
can
they're not
use.
consumed by the spell.
Even if they're consumed by the spell.
No, if they're not consumed by the spell.
You can use a spell focus to replace any components, even components that are consumed, as long as they don't have a price.
Really? That's...
Yes.
I don't think it ever says if something is consumed unless it has a price.
That could be the
It
case.
generally doesn't. There's like one exception, but I don't remember what it is.
I mean, one of them says a sprinkling of holy water, so obviously that gets consumed.
Right.
Because you
but,
can't
like,
just sprinkle and be like, oh, well, I'll put it back in the vial.
Sprinkle it into another vial.
Look, I want to be honest. I'm super on the fence about holy water anyway, because, like, you have to look in other places to find out that holy water has a cost. And so I'm going to hold that against those spells and say, it's too bad. If you wanted people to spend money on holy water, you should have listed a cost in the spell. If there's no cost listed in the description of the materials in the spell that you are casting, you can use your spell focus.
Okay.
Holy water can eat a dick.
Several, in fact.
In fact. I'm well aware that it costs 25 gold to make or buy holy water. I don't care.
Alright, so then you don't actually need anything. Anyone
See if
else
you can
need
pick me
something
up a
from your
griffin. I really want one.
You really want to what?
See if you can pick me up a griffin.
No. Simply no.
He's got the pet envy now.
I swear one day I'll be a griffin rider.
How about no?
But
Imagine how helpful it would be against the dragons, though.
a griffin isn't super sneaky, and you're like super sneaky.
If
I could fly around and shoot.
If Cyrus is snotty to you, Vendar, you can kill him.
I could do that.
I thought.
Wait, why is this coming up out of nowhere? Hey, hold on a second.
I fought griffins, and I don't really think they're going to stand a chance against a dragon.
Hey, it doesn't need to fight it head on. It just needs to keep me at a distance, so that I can shoot it with arrows. And then it
be
can
a
eat
flying
those other things.
target.
Hey, a flying target's harder to hit.
For a dragon?
You know what?
Yeah, I'm with Leah on this one.
I don't
Besides,
need your snark right now. I want a goddamn griffin.
Has the tale of squeakers been mentioned?
To Cyrus and Jebel.
To Cyrus, at least. Since I have heard the.
I think you only heard him moan about it. But I don't think
you've heard the story, but you've probably heard him mention it.
Alright, then I'll go hit this way. Well, let me do it this way. I would guess the same thing would happen to your griffin that would happen to your last pet.
Hey, that was an unfortunate situation. I got him, and then we went into a poison pit. I didn't know that would happen.
Poison pit. Was I involved in this? I don't remember a poison pit.
Squeaker's drowned.
Oh, it must have happened just before I met you guys.
Literally, I bought him.
No.
And then we teleported to Arcosia, and then he died in Arcosia. I had him for like 6 hours.
I thought he drowned on the way into
No.
The city.
No, he didn't drown on the way into.
No, that was a totally different squeakers. We don't talk about him.
How many?
Because I buried him in Arcosia with Raiken's parents.
It's true, I remember. That was a fun time.
Yeah, or I fell unconscious at the slightest stare from a dragon.
Unless you were fighting in the daylight.
Yeah, but those were only the wormlings. The dragons didn't care if it was daytime or nighttime. I like daylight or, shadows. I was still going down.
Alright, squeakers.
I miss squeakers.
Okay.
See, I want.
It's a good ferret.
I want a pet. It was a good ferret. Since it wasn't a
So-
familiar, and poor squeakers, he died.
Laramidas, Leah, either of you need something?
No.
We're going to the library.
All right. Then it seems we have this sorted out.
Well, I'm ready when you are. I finished eating.
It's not hard if
Let's-
you've got a library card.
Let's get going. My clothes
Oh.
are still far too breezy than I would like.
Maybe we should also quickly decide at a meeting time and where. Should we just meet you guys back here around noon or a little afternoon? Or
I imagine we just end up meeting when the council called us.
well, okay.
I imagine I will be indisposed in the temple for quite some time.
Besides-
Alright. Well, I guess maybe we'll stop to the temple before we stop here if we don't hear from the council by then.
Yeah.
Alright.
Let's make the temple of our own our backup meeting point.
Alright.
It's,
Alright, guys.
Raiken, Jebel, and Vendar spending their time today?
Chilling. Walking around.
I mean, I imagine Vendar is gonna either look for or wait for Lynn to find him, and then he's gonna help her to rob the dude to get Jibbles' money back.
Could you wait until after they discuss whether or not we can get our stuff back?
That's the thing. If they don't give me my gun back, I'm taking it back.
Please don't.
That's gonna cause a lot of trouble.
Well, they
That
better
we
give it
don't
back.
mean.
I will be at the Temple of Ion. I leave.
You know what? Yeah, I don't. I just don't want to know.
I will send for people if I need to be in touch, and I'm the one that is contacted.
Takes you and Leah a while to get there. You have a nice, mostly quiet walk through a busy and worried city. Pretty much all semblance of celebration has stopped. There are a few people trying to, raise people's spirits and get them back into it, by bringing out the effigies and trying to, start up musical numbers and things, anything to try and raise the morale of the people around them, but it's not taking. The city that you pass through is bustle, but not hustle. And everyone around you seems to carry a weight of worry around their neck.
It's not easy to hate humans when you just lost your home to dragons.
The only effigy unmarred by acid in any way is the human one.
Clearly, it was the human's fault.
It's a very smug looking.
Yeah, the small and scaly humans in trench coats.
What exactly is each of you hoping to accomplish at the Temple of Ione today?
I had not been finished going through what happened in Garland, and I wanted to talk with them about how the council had phrased things.
Okay. So you're going to seek out Shara?
Yeah.
Okay. It doesn't take long to find her, especially asking for her by name. The other acolytes here will help you locate her. And she will say, as she approaches, she says, "Ah, I did not know if you would come back to finish our talk." And she will indicate the Room of Knowledge and say, "Shall we finish the story?"
I would very much like to.
Meanwhile, I'm browsing this enormous mess of a library to try and find anything related to the dragon scales. So I'm gonna be busy.
To dragon scales. Okay. Yeah, roll investigation with advantage.
Let's see. Investigation is +1, so that's... Okay, so 17.
17. Okay. Do you mind if I do Leah's first, in case it sounds like you've got some roleplay you want to do, Sam?
The bulk of the time is stuff that we had already discussed as me intending to... like, he's just being very straightforward about everything that happened. He wants to start with that so that that gets done.
Okay.
So I think it makes sense to start with Leah, who's doing things that...
Right. I would skip on to what you wanted to ask them when I come to you. Okay, so Leah, it takes you a while. This is a big place, but it is well organized, and you start with history and move on to magic artifacts, and finally you get your first hint of success in a section labeled mythology. You do find a book in the mythology section that says... called The Rise and Fall of the Children of Bahamut.
Bingo.
Get ready for a sequel.
This talks about, it postulates mostly, and it wastes no time at the beginning saying that the contents of the tome have been gathered from many different cultures over hundreds of years and have been compiled into the most sensible order as could be ascribed to them, but they are all still not entirely corroborated, and that is why it is, you imagine that is why it is stayed in the mythology section.
Is it a big book?
It is verbose.
What?
There are lots of words in it.
Okay, so it's thick.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying. Okay, yeah. And is it high up on the shelf or far down?
Let's find out. It is high on the shelf.
Yikes. I think I'll find out. I rolled a 16 on strength. How I should be able to get it done.
Okay. So you
I was just worried I would topple over.
You find a book ladder, a shelf ladder, slide it down to where you want to be, climb up it, and grab hold of the spine of this tome, and slide it slowly towards yourself, yanking on it as it grinds its way over the shelf. You kind of cough a little as it some dust springs into the air from your efforts. And finally you heft it into your arms, and it very nearly knocks you off the ladder. You find yourself, using one hand to cling the book to your chest, while holding on to the ladder with a death grip on your other hand. And once you finally feel you've steadied yourself, you begin to slowly climb down. You bring the book over to the nearest table where you can sit and open it and read it. Within its aged and stained pages, just stained by time and dust and neglect, you find stories, as I've said, collected from many different places over hundreds of years, and they claim to date back to the earliest days of recorded history indicating that, before any of the mortal races existed, the world, the land, the seas were shaped by the dragons, and as culture bloomed in the world, it was shaped by the dragons and the battles between the dragons of the metallics and the chromatics. The ever-burning war between the children of Tiamat and the children of Bahamut, and how the children of Bahamut ever sought to guide society and protect it from destruction that would be inevitable if the chromatics were able to seize a foothold and control the world. But over time, they found that their ongoing war and the struggles of these children of the gods were shaping society in negative ways. Like, even though they weren't able to defeat one another, their struggle for conquest over one another was still harming society. And so the metallic dragons made a difficult decision. By this time, they had all sired generations of other dragons, but they were still the original children of Bahamut, and the first of their kind. They found that in the absence of a way to utterly defeat the chromatic dragons, that the best thing they could do was entirely cease their influence for a period of time. Give society, mankind, the humanoid races, that is to say, a reprieve to rebuild and guide themselves. And so, some kind of ritual was performed. There's no record of exactly the magics that went into it, but the result was that the children of Bahamut were no more. But from their demise came the scales, one attuned to each chromatic dragon and powered by the life force of the metallic dragon that created it. And with these, the metallic dragons could subdue the chromatic dragons for a time, but the scales needed to be wielded by a humanoid warrior.
Okay.
Of course, this is all mythology, and there's no proof that any of it's true.
Yeah, I'd take out my diary and rip off a page from the back side of it, and I start writing the last parts down.
Okay.
What I find important.
Mm-hmm.
So I have it worded for later.
The scales supposedly were used for each time mankind, or humanoid kind, I should say, would have a advancement in global society, a leap in technology. It was attributed to the dragons not being able to interfere. And so this is to perhaps indicate that they've been used and failed before, and had to be used again. But it is not entirely clear. But what you've been told in recent events is that these dragons have been decommissioned for the last 1,000 years, and the stories in here seem to be indicating that they are dating back much further than that.
It's a bit concerning that it mentioned that their life force, that it used the life force of the chromatic dragons, and there seem to be so few of them left. Also, that it's not the same dragons.
The scales use the life force of the metallic dragons.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I said wrong. Sorry, I meant metallic.
I just wanted to make sure that it was said wrong and not understood wrong.
Yeah, I said wrong.
Okay. Well, as the story
It- it-
indicates, it was the 5 children of Bahamut that sacrificed themselves to make these scales, but their lineage still exists.
Yeah. Just note it's very often said wrong when it comes from a bilingual at 2 a.m.
Is there more information you wish to seek, or is this kind of thing what Leah was looking for and suffices her?
It is what I was looking for.
Okay.
After writing it down, though, she will start just browsing other stuff, I guess.
As you're writing, one of the acolytes, dressed in, low-level plain robes of Ione, will happen by, see you, and say, Are you copying out of that book?
It's important information.
Yes, it's all very important. Please, do you need one of our scribes to help you? We can copy the book for you.
That would be helpful.
He
Yes,
smiles and holds out his hands to take the book.
Yeah, I'll lift it and give it to him.
He struggle it off the table, and he takes it from you and says, it's not often that we have people wanting to take the knowledge from here. It really helps to spread the knowledge of Ione when you do this. We want to encourage it.
That's good enough.
And he will lead you with the book toward, back into the same area that Lara was taken. And he'll say, it will just take a little while, maybe an hour. This is a rather thick tome.
That's fine.
Maybe 2. I don't want to promise. Somewhere between 1 and 2.
Okay.
All right, and he's going to put the book in there and says, I will go get a cleric for this. And he says, before he leaves, he stops and he turns to you and says, and if there are any other books you'd like to take, or know anybody else that would like this information, direct them to us, and we'll copy any book they wish.
I'll keep that in mind.
He smiles and heads off. There, you're in the room with Shara, finishing your account of the tribulations you experienced in Garland.
Mm-hmm.
She pauses in her writing to actually gesticulate her surprise at the grandeur of this event as the raw magic engulfs the vault and everything disappears.
I do sadly make clear that at that time I was feeble-minded, and so that bit is coming from vague memories and what everyone was saying was going on as we were leaving.
She nods and makes an
Most
extra note.
important.
Yes.
Couldn't Ash fill it into corroborate?
Oh,
He was.
yeah, he probably could. So,
Ash will corroborate.
yeah.
And
I'm sure while the whole thing has been going on, Ash has been filling in details. If I jump ahead a little bit too much and that kind of stuff.
Do not forget this moment, scholar.
It's a team effort.
It makes
Truth,
sense.
the whole truth. Nothing but the truth.
Only what he can verify or what Ash can corroborate. But yes, so is there anything that you wanted to capture after that, or you had told me you just wanted to go up through the departure from Garland, correct?
I wanted to make sure that they had all of the information that we had about Garland. I will make sure to say that the Lich's book, which the beginning of it was a diary, was on the cart, which is currently in possession of the city. But the actual first-hand document from the Lich might be interesting for the temple to be aware of. If it does not soon come back into my possession to bring it to them, then they can probably go and talk to the city about things. Might be something that would be interesting.
Yes, her eyes come alight at this information.
And I mention that we're aware of some spell on it, on the portion that is most likely a spell book. But the diary did not appear to be, or the diary portions did not appear to be enchanted in some way.
It seems reasonable to assume that there would be some kind of a protection spell so that people could not steal her knowledge. We will be aware of this if you can get us the item.
If it does not come back into my possession, I will make sure to let you know that as well, so that you can talk to the council. Speaking of the council, actually, we had been talking to them, and they were aware of the discussion that the dragons had before leaving the city.
Yes, they did ask us for a translation.
So I had just wanted to make sure that the temple was aware of the exact phrasing that had been used and anything of that nature. The council had been pushing for a few people to know the exact to understand the discussion that was had between the two of them, and I just wanted to make sure that the clerics here were aware.
Yes, the council has impressed upon us the importance of not starting a riot. And while we are not out on the street corners crying the information that was shared by the dragons, it is still freely available in the stacks. The council
Excellent.
is well aware that few people would come to seek such things here. I hate them for their understanding of that.
It is unfortunate.
Scholar, you are doing Ion's work, and we are ever grateful.
It is work that must be done, and I am situated well to do what I can to help.
There are temples of Ion in other cities. They would benefit from you sharing your knowledge. We can transmit these things, but it takes time, and it seems to me that you have access to much faster means of transportation.
If I am able to take the time in other major cities that I have taken here to convey things quicker, I will make sure to do so. But I'm not always sure how long I'll be able to spend in any one place.
As we saw yesterday. Again, the temple thanks you for your work, and it thanks you, Ash, for helping the scholar to do his job in the name of Our Lady of Knowledge. I don't think rocks can blush, and he certainly doesn't seem to.
The color changes, like, just tinges red a little bit.
There is aught else?
There was one other thing that I had wanted to bring up. Our group's goal is actually, wait a minute. In the talking about Garland, would it have been reasonable for me to already have gone into details about the armor of Cord?
Yes.
If not, okay, cool. I just want to make sure that they have that as well. All of the information related to everything.
I mean, your entire reason for going out and seeking Garland was to get the armor of Cord.
Yeah,
It's impossible for it not to come up.
I mean the end bit of, like, this dude over here has it, and the things that I have been aware of it doing, and things like that.
Yes, you can convey all of those without us going through it point by point.
Cool. Just want to make sure that that's also in the records. We are intending to seek out the other pieces of the armor of Bahamut, so that we can actually have a bit more of a chance against the dragons than we did here. And we were wondering if it might be possible for one of the clerics here to help us with divination magics to make sure we're going in the right place.
You wish to try to locate object, or you wish for something more invasive?
I don't believe that we're within range for locate object.
Then you wish for an intervention.
I believe so. I'm not familiar with...
There's a spell called Commune, which they can ask... she'll explain. We have a couple ways of communicating with the divine to gain insight that we have perhaps no other way, or no more quick or reasonable way of gaining. We could directly question Ion as to 3 things in the form of yes-no questions. If that would help, we can perform this task, but it will have to be performed by someone who has not already performed it today. I qualify for that. The other thing that one could do, and you would much need to endear yourself to them, is ask directly for an intervention, which could go as far as to move you where you need to be.
I believe that we, at this point, only seek answers, although I suppose, depending on the answers, we might not have an easy way of getting where we need to go, but I would hope that that's not the case. The questions I would think would suffice.
Very well. I can perform a commune with Ion, if you wish. Do you know the questions you wish to ask at this time?
I know the information we're seeking, but not how best to phrase the questions.
You need time.
I was hoping that you might be able to assist with that, too, since you have a much deeper understanding of the spell and how questions should be posed.
Very well. Then she sets the... She dots a few I's and crosses a couple T's, looks it over, and then sets the book aside for the ink to dry, and says, "Then please convey the information to me, and I will see if I can phrase it for you."
So, out of character, I just want to make sure that I know. The 3 bits of information that we had wanted, we want to have some idea of where in the Underdark the 2 items are, if they're in the Underdark, which seems very difficult to get with a single yes-no question.
Correct.
We wanted to know if the Drow society as a whole is working to bring back these dragons, to wake them up and toss the world into that chaos. And we had wanted to know, Cyrus had wanted to know if his father was still alive. Those were the 3 bits of information. which it seems like if we need to use multiple questions to get at the first bit of information, I would have been okay sacrificing either of the other two, because I don't know how much merit there is necessarily knowing that Drow Society is working for this goal, because I don't care if they are, because they're just going to do evil things anyway. So when we were talking about things, did Cyrus express I guess I can roll some insight check for my recollection of Cyrus. That's very poor.
I guarantee it's better than my deception.
So would Cyrus have wanted to be pushing explicitly for that second bit of information over the third bit of information, over the health of his father?
He had,
or was that it would be nice to have if possible?
It would be nice to know if possible.
Okay,
so if you see it as more of a priority, he basically left it to your discretion.
Okay, so
but as long as the location of the armor was primary, that needed to be found.
Yeah, so that the two pieces of the armor, the shield and the sword, we need to have a much better clue for. Then, if possible, the predilections of the largest set of Drow society, and then Cyrus's father. So it sounds like if we lose one of those bits of information, it's that one, and if we lose two, it's Society Drow and Cyrus.
Yep.
Cool. That was just what I wanted to make clear, and as I am conveying this information to her, so I will let her know what we know about the two missing pieces of the set, and what we can suspect from what we know about where, in the Underdark, possibly not together anymore, because why would things be that convenient? Hopefully not destroyed, but maybe sequestered. That would be a good way to get rid of them. Which would also make it so the spell wouldn't work well, because it's a divination spell. That would be unfortunate. But one day I will get to use that spell for something. I love that spell.
It's rude.
Like a level spell. I'll never use it. But
it's a rude spell.
I have no idea what it does.
It's the hide things very well kind of spell. For some trigger, and that trigger can be 10,000 years. It's great. Anywho, so I will convey that information to her and see if she has any thoughts on how to best word things and explain the priorities for the questions.
Okay. Let's see here. So, you wanted to know, one, is the father of Cyrus full circle live? Two,
Who did we lose?
did we lose someone?
We lost something. Probably the
Jebel.
bard. No.
We lost Jebel.
Did we want Fredboat?
Oh, man. I totally forgot about Fredboat. That's me. What kind of music do we want? What kind of music is fitting right now?
The Me Channel theme.
No, again.
One day it will be.
Never that. Never that, Sam.
Just the background sound, no random coughing and pages being flipped.
It's never that one. Festival. Maybe this one? I haven't used this one yet. I was trying to save it, I think, for a special moment, but this will do. I think that's fine. Okay. Help me out here, because there was a lot said, and I was trying to divide my attention, and I shouldn't have been, but I was hoping I would have the opportunity to, because I wanted to get something else finished up, because it's going to become pertinent soon. So, I know for a fact, does the father of Cyrus Sprawl Circle live?
So the priority of information is, number one, we want to have a much more clear understanding of the whereabouts of the items.
Okay.
The two missing pieces.
Alright, so she will immediately, as you convey that desire for knowledge, because she will have asked you to say, tell me the information and I will help you refine it. She'll say, we cannot use an open-ended question, so we will have to ask, is the thing specifically here, or is the thing specifically not here? And we will be able to get a yes or no to that, which can then inform the next question. But it is very difficult to utilize commune to find something that you do not know where it is when the possibilities may be endless.
So, we know that they were taken from Arcosia by the Drow, and therefore suspect that they are in the Underdark. If the Drow were the ones that took them, I don't believe that they would be removed from the Underdark.
So,
but
is this item, or are these items in the Underdark, is how you might phrase that. And that would let you know. You could ask about a specific one, because if you ask about both, the answer could be no, and one could be there while the other is not.
Did we have a feeling for one of the ones being more desirable than the others?
Probably the sword, based on who would be using it.
Yeah, that was gonna be my go-to, that we care most about the sword, because Yukikaze probably prefers the sword over the shield first. But I wasn't sure if we had settled on a priority of things beforehand. It sounds like we probably didn't, and so the sword does make sense.
Okay. We will ask about the sword of Bahamut. The Silver Fang. I need the correct channel, please. Snork. We will make this 3 for now. This will become 1. Is the sword of Bahamut's champion, the Silver Fang, within the Underdark. And then I have, does the father of Cyrus Full Circle live? What is number 2 or 3?
That is the least necessary of the information. We also had been interested if the bulk of Drow society was working with the goal of waking the children of Tiamat up, and that might have influenced how they behaved in Arcosia.
Are the drow beneath Arcosia working for a common goal with the children of Tiamat?
Sorry.
Does that sound correct?
Yes.
Excellent. What would you like your third question to be? Or would you like your third question to be based on the answer to one of these two?
If we could ask a question that would help narrow down the location of the sword from being in the Underdark, because
We could ask
either
if
way,
it
there's-
remains in proximity to Arcosia.
that seems reasonable.
Because then we would know if the answer is yes, and then we ask if it's still close to Arcosia. You would know that perhaps entering near there would be useful, or not.
What would be defined as close?
We could set that. You could say within a certain number of miles. What do you deem close in miles?
Voice in the sky for Laramendus. What seems a reasonable distance to set for that, given the scale of the world?
Well, based on how much he loves walking, I would say 10 miles, but based on a reasonable person, you might say within 50. The seat of Bahamut
Okay.
is more than 50 miles away from Volinar, the capital of Bromdor. So this would tell you if it's, up to midway between them.
Mm-hmm. That seems
You could say 100,
reasonable.
and then you know that it would include Volinar in the circle. And remember that the Underdark are randomly twisting and often interconnected tunnels, so there may be a way to travel by strictly the Underdark between Volinar and the seat of Bahamut.
Yeah.
So you could reasonably start in Volinar and make your way wherever you needed to there, and it could lead you all the way back to the seat of Bahamut. You wouldn't necessarily need to go into the danger zone to enter the Underdark near there. You could start elsewhere.
Okay, then. Yeah, let's say 100 miles.
Okay. So this will be our if 1 equals yes, then 3 is the sword, is the Silver Fang within 100 miles of the seat of Bahamut. Fair?
Yeah.
Whoa, that is not what I wanted.
And if the first question is no, then it might be worth asking if the shield isn't in the Underdark.
Okay.
Over Cyrus's father. And that way we at least will know if any of them are in the Underdark currently.
Okay. I have posted them so that you may review them before we cast the spell. And she will say, I have written them down so that you may review them before I cast the spell.
I think that seems reasonable to me.
As she rolls up her sleeve to prepare sleeves to begin to prepare to cast the spell. God, I can't talk. She's going to say, "Of course, you might be aware that this spell has no component cost, but the Temple of Ion never refuses a donation from clients who are receiving information."
What do I actually have? I think I pretty much only have. What did they give me last time? 25 platinum?
I mean, you also might be getting more platinum this time.
Did it seem like it was assumed that I would be getting more money for the rest of the information now? Because if so, I would say that I don't need that.
Oh.
If
yeah.
it had not been, which I think was like 175 or something, because I think they were giving me 200 total. If that had not been made clear, I would offer them the whatever amount it was that I had been given, which I think was 25.
She will raise an eyebrow and say, "Very well. The Temple of Ion will put this offering to very good use in spreading her word to the world. We will make copies of the books that you have provided us." 175 platinum.
Give up 175. Jesus.
I mean, I think that's what it was, like, out of character.
Yeah, you'd only received a portion of it. I thought you got 50, but okay.
It might have been 50, and so I'm basically just saying, like, yeah, like, I was paid for information beforehand, but it might have been 25 for the item and 25 for the information, the portion of information.
Possibly.
I don't know, but, like, in Laramendus's mind, the money isn't
As
important.
Usual. Yes, I know. He is somewhat ascetic, and I completely understand.
So he's just like, yeah, he wanted to give this information because it made sense, and the rest of the party doesn't need to know how much he just gave for this spell.
She casts
Gave
the
more money
spell
than we had.
and speaks in Celestial, and you hear this ominous, quietly intense voice resonating off the stones of the room in response. So, she asks the questions one at a time, and then relays the answer in common to you. So she looks to you after the room stops vibrating, humming with this foreign voice, and she says, "The sword is in the Underdark."
Excellent. Well, useful.
Shall I ask the second question?
Please.
She begins chanting in Celestial, and after a moment the room resonates once again. And she turns to you and nods gravely and says, "It seems that the drow beneath Arcosia are somewhat aligned, as you suspected."
It is good to have the confirmation.
So, the third question I shall ask about the sword again.
Please.
And again the room rumbles with the celestial voice. And she nods at you with hope in her eyes and says, "What you seek is reasonably close to the place you have suggested."
And it seems reasonable to start our search in that area. Wonderful.
We have recently received word from one of our sister temples that... Actually, was it here? Never mind. It was here. I was going to convey unnecessary information, because you were the one who gave them this information.
Which information?
About the armor. They'd already had that from your lips here. I thought that they'd gotten it from you at a different temple.
Okay, yeah. This is the first time since gaining Ash that Larmindus has been able to, like, this is the first city that he has been able to go to the Temple of Ione for since gaining Ash.
Yeah. Because you gained Ash in this city. It was at the Silver Dragon Inn, I remember.
True.
Tuka's been an important city for you guys, hasn't it?
I suppose. Yeah. It's quite the hub.
I'm not sure they're a fan of it, though.
Okay. Is there anything else that you wish to speak of with her before I switch to someone else?
Larmindus will ask for where he might find information related to that area of the Underdark. Any maps or known large cities or anything like that to help direct his attentions.
In the stacks.
If anything.
Yes, in the stacks, in the geography section, there are some records of some foolhardy adventurers who managed to crawl back from that place. As you know, there are entrances the world over, but you may find there something near what you're looking for. I have not perused that section thoroughly myself, but I would start, and she gives you a particular shelf and says, I would start here.
Thank you.
She nods and releases the spell that's keeping the room sealed. Thank you for your contribution, Scholar. I hope you find what you are looking for.
I think at that point it's fair to jump to somebody else.
Yes. Yes. Leah's taken care of. You're taken care of. I think perhaps Yukikaze had things that he wanted to take care of with Jebel?
Cyrus.
Okay.
Jebel doesn't have any money to help him out.
What are you doing together?
We're walking down the street, talking with each other. We'll be like, Cyrus, you know how they confiscated all our stuff?
Well,
because it was
all your
contraband?
stuff.
But, like, the cart's not magical, and they took our cart. And there are a few other things that are not magical that they just up and decided with it was theirs. Which kind of sucks.
Hey, it made the cart survive, and we're probably going to get back at this point, so there's no point in complaining.
Hopefully.
Regardless, even if they say no, we can probably make an argument to get the cart back on those grounds.
And some of our non-magical stuff at least, right? I'm thinking...
I mean, is there something specific you wanted?
I believe... No, he's right there. That's there. Maybe just a few miscellaneous things I left on there, nothing like crazy. But, yeah, my stuff.
Did you have something from your family on the cart? Like that,
No, that was in my... That was kept at me at all times. And that is in my... That's with Leah at the moment, actually. I think. Yes, that's with Leah at the moment. because it's safer in the bag than me just dangling off my side, or me carrying it around.
Well,
So,
what's left of your bag, anyways?
yeah.
But
So,
hey, you only lost a bag. I lost a leg.
well, you lost it, but you got one back, so you're doing pretty good. That was not a comfortable feeling, by the way. I don't think I'll ever forget that.
You're telling me.
I still want to punch that stupid frickin' thief in the face. But anyways, do you see a place that sells bags yet?
So, each of these green squares of varying sizes is either a building or a tent, or a wagon or a very large tent. And every one of them is a shop of some kind. There are places here that are selling bags, places selling clothing, places selling tankards, places selling boots, places selling weapons. Like, everything. And most of them seem to be populated now. The street itself is pretty crowded, but based on how you've seen the streets, like, before the dragon attack, when the celebration was going on, this seems pretty light. Like, people aren't risking a trip to the market just yet, the day after the dragon attack. I will say that there is an entire row here of stalls and tents that is just a molten mass from being melted by acid.
Lovely.
But it's these 3 streets and all of these green buildings. It's a huge area. Just to give you the bird's eye view of what you're looking at. You're looking at a very long street lined on either side by shops of different sizes.
Well, I guess we'll start perusing, looking for a bag, and Yukikaze will get distracted by the weapon shops for a short while.
He will not?
He will.
Oh, he will.
And I will try to keep him on track. Like, come on, buddy. We got work to do.
And, of course, Cyrus will get a sigh every time he does that.
Well, excuse me for wanting to actually have clothes to wear.
You do have a fair point, but you know, they're shiny.
There's a clothing shop here, right across the street from a weapons shop called Bloodbath and Beyond.
Ooh.
Wow.
It does exist.
I don't necessarily like the name of the place, but it has shiny swords in it.
Then you...
It's a blood bank, as well as a weapon shop.
What use would they have for a blood bank?
They make baths out of it for people who want to bathe in the blood of anybody, not necessarily their enemies.
But usually
well,
they're
business
enemies.
must be booming at this point.
So you're gonna go over to the shop and get some clothes there, Cyrus?
Yes.
I'm not much for helping a guy pick clothes.
Yeah, I don't need your help. If you want to go shop for weapons, shop for weapons.
Sweet. Well, it might necessarily. I don't have any money, but I can look and touch, maybe.
Tell you what. I'll give you I'll give him 2 platinum, and that's what you can spend on whatever you want while we're here. But I'd like you to pay me back if you can later.
Sorry, Alex, I don't believe in the Oxford comma.
I don't want to take it because then I'll be probably wanting to spend it. So keep the plat till we find a bag. I'll worry about that. I don't need money going into the shop because I will
And
spend
then here,
money.
I'll give you half up front, and I'll hold on to the other half for you for the bag. How's that?
Okay. And Yukaze will kind of seem like he had a little skip in his step to cross the street.
Inside there are just racks of different style weapons and armor along the walls. The racks of weapons are in the middle. They've got, like, swords, daggers, maces, hammers, picks, pretty much anything that you could use to bludgeon, slash, or stab someone. The armor's along the walls. There's, like, 10 sets on display that range from light cloth armor up through heavy plate. And there's a couple people milling about. Like, you see some, rather grizzled-looking people admiring the blades that are on display. All of the blades on display are, like, clamped in, like, stocks, kind of like the handcuffs that Laramentis was made to wear. It clamps around the weapon, and there's a padlock on it.
Yeah, so you can't take them.
So you can't just take them.
So I'm gonna walk right up to the shopkeep and be like, "Hello, good day, sir."
Alright, the shopkeep is an orc with one eye, who says, hello, sir, and welcome to Bloodbath and Beyond. How can I help you kill someone today?
I don't necessarily need to kill anyone, but your swords are very shiny.
All of my swords are incredibly shiny. I buff them every night. And he blinks at you. Or maybe it's winks. You can't tell. He's only got one eye.
So, I might be wielding a shield at some point, and I thought of a fun idea. Do you happen to have a shield that's, like, got swords on the side of it?
You're looking for a shield with swords on it.
Yes, because it sounds cool.
That does sound cool. I might have something, actually. And he looks around behind the counter and says, give me an hour. I'll have something for you.
What are you blacksmith?
I'm fair handy with my hands.
Well, I wasn't necessarily thinking, like, just swords attached to a shield. You weren't going to do that, right?
What are you looking for, exactly? You want just a bladed edge of the shield?
Maybe.
Are you intending to throw the shield? Because I would warn you, though a experienced warrior you appear to be, that you might end up hurting yourself more than anyone else with a shield that has a blade on the edge.
You pose some interesting perspectives.
You still want to do it, don't you?
I kind of do, but
I'll help you do it.
It was just a thought. It was a thought. But all right, well, I'm gonna for now, I'm gonna table that idea for a minute and look around. But also, do you know any recommendations for a good blacksmith?
I have got a good recommendation for a blacksmith.
Would you be able to possibly? Do you know if you'd be able to repair a sword within a day, or does he need?
What kind of a sword is it?
I should have.
Do you have it with you?
Yes, I'll pull it. It's like my poor sword suffered from acid damage in a dungeon.
And you place Kibamaro on the table, and the acid damage along its blade and edge is apparent. And he looks it over, tisking softly. Says, my good friend, old Starrick One Eye, could take care of this. It's not magic, is it?
No, it is not.
That's definitely well within his abilities.
Will he take good care of Sumimaro?
Kibamaro?
Or Kimimaro, yeah, Kimimaro.
Oh yes, the best care. It'll be shine buffed and like it was never used when you get it back.
Oh, that would do my heart very good. Where can I find this gentleman?
Alright, what I want you to do is turn around, you go out that door there, then I want you to turn exactly 180 degrees and go in the first door you see. He'll be the man behind the desk. He's only got one eye. You can't miss him.
Can't miss him.
You know, Yukikaze's gonna play along with this just because he's happy with the thought of getting my sword fixed.
Oh my god.
Oh.
So
So
like,
he's-
you go out the door, you count off 180 degrees, you walk in the door, you're right back inside Bloodbath and Beyond, you walk up to the desk and say, hey, so the guy, owner of this weapon shop, told me you could fix a sword.
You're just like, I think I might have turned 190 degrees, but I still saw a door.
So I was like, can you fix it? What time frame can you be able to fix Kibe
He looks it over, turns it over in his hands, looks at you, and says, well, the materials all look like they're locally sourced, so I should have a good supply. To reforge this blade, I would say it would take me all night. But if you come back around noon tomorrow, I'll have it for you.
Shoot. I don't know how much...
Metal takes time to forge, my friend. If you want
Yes,
this
I
weapon
know.
working, you want it done right. And
Yeah.
after I forge the weapon with new metal, we then still have to temper it, and then we have to buff it and re-give it a new edge. We have to resharpen it. All of
Yeah,
that takes time. Plus, it looks like you've lost an engraving here. Do you want that back?
Of course I do.
So I'll have to
Kibemaro.
redo the engraving. That takes time.
Yeah, I might have to hold off because I don't know what my group's plan is. I'm here with a group. I'm sorry, Kibemaro. You may have to wait. You may see me again later if I have the time.
Find me after dinner tonight. I might have something for you.
Thank you very much, good sir. Well, for now, I would like to keep perusing your wares and see if anything catches my fancy.
Of course, feel free. I've listed the prices of most things. Anything that doesn't have a price on it, just ask me.
Alright, I will. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm. Anything else you wanted in there for the moment, or shall I go talk to Cyrus about his clothing?
You could do Cyrus now.
Okay. This place is wonderful, Cyrus. There's all kinds of clothing in here. There's fancy clothing, travel clothing, work clothing, thick clothing, thin clothing. All kinds of colors. Though you notice most people don't tend to wear very colorful things here. White and beige are the colors to go here, but you could get pretty much anything you wanted.
Alright.
There is, as you enter, you will notice at the back of the shop there is a counter, and on the other side of that counter is a tiefling with vibrant purple skin and bangles adorning their horns hanging all around their face. They watch you with their red eyes as you come in, and you can see their tail flicking and switching behind them.
Alright. Then I'll look around, see if I can find something similar to what I was wearing when this was, you know, an outfit.
Are you wearing the one-legged pants and the pasties right now?
I probably am wearing my old traveler's clothes,
Okay.
but they're just uncomfortably hot for this environment.
Okay. Alright, so you are fully clothed.
Yeah.
Okay. As you peruse the things, a voice is going to ring out somewhat sing-song from the back. You hear, it's difficult to tell if it's male or female precisely, but you look terribly uncomfortable, little one. Is there something more appropriate to the environment I could interest you in?
Yes, please. I was looking for something like he'll describe his previous outfit, which was kind of red and gold. It was like the like I don't remember what it quite was. It was like silk or something you had given the party.
All the
Very
party
obvious
when they were
person.
the desert clothing was all silk.
Yeah. So I'd be looking for something like that because that was comfortable.
The tiefling will come from behind the counter and stalk their way up to you. They will size you up as they approach. They're significantly taller than you at about somewhere between 5'6" and 5'8", maybe.
Alright, so
And
they got at least 2
they'll
feet on
stand
me.
back, almost striking a pose, folding their arms over their chest with a hand to their chin, narrowing their eyes at you, tail still flailing behind them. They say, yes, I think that we can find some appropriate silk clothes for the environment. You are staying here, I assume.
We are. Or I am, yes.
Excellent. Yes. Do you have a favorite color? Because they pull on some fabrics at the side. They say, oh, I think these burnt oranges really bring out your eyes.
I'm particularly fond of red and gold.
Red and gold. Red and
Gold primarily.
Gold primarily. Interesting. Let me see. And they begin, like, moving through the rows of clothing. Say, gold silk is definitely rare, but I think I have some. Exactly what kind of sheen are you looking for? I've got more and less reflective in the yellows.
Probably a little less reflective.
I see. How do you feel about marigold? And they pull out a sleeve of something. It's an orangey gold, orangey yellow.
Looks interesting.
I can find one of these with gold thread in it, I think, and that will allow it to glint somewhat for you.
Alright. How much would that run me?
Well, just this blouse, and they pull it down, and it's a fancy shirt with, like, frilled cuffs on the ends of the hands. This particular piece would run you about 20 gold pieces.
Alright. I don't need necessarily
To
contain
make an
gold.
ensemble, maybe 100 gold pieces.
I think that's a little out of my price range. I'm not necessarily looking for something with gold in it, just something of a similar color.
I see. Conservative spender. Very well. Let me see what else we have.
Well,
I have something in a bit brighter yellow that might mimic the look you're going for. I could match this shirt with, oh, how about this cloak? The liquid velvet will keep you, cool when you need it and warm when you want it.
sounds interesting.
This I could put an ensemble together for you for 35 gold pieces.
I can do that.
All right, then. You're short on footwear, they say, looking down at your feet.
Yeah, I suppose I am for desert footwear, but he would have, shoes.
That's fine. Sandals and slippers are a trifle. I could throw in a pair of those for 4 silver.
All right.
They go around checking a few other colors and eventually come down with some trousers to go with the shirt. They pull down a sash of a color that is somewhat between the red and the yellow, sort of the burnt orange again. This is to be worn around the waist, and they display that it has like some jingly gold-looking bangles on it. They say, don't worry, it's not real gold, and it's all within the 35 gold piece price.
Works for me.
Excellent. If you will, over here, and they lay the items on the counter and pull out a ledger, and while pointing at the things one at a time with one very well manicured sharp nail, writing down the items and their prices, and say, very well, that will be 35 gold pieces and 4 silver pieces for the small gentleman.
I'll hand over 36 gold because I don't have any silver.
Very well, very well. They will take it and produce a wood and metal coffer and drop the coins in, pulling out 6 silver and handing it back to you. And they say, now, all of this will fit rather loosely, but I've tailored it for children, so it should fit you well. There are ties at the sleeves and at the ankles, at the cuffs, so that you can make sure they don't slip over your hands. It will fit loose and baggy, which will mean it will breathe well.
Good. That should be comfortable for as long as I'm staying here.
Now, the cloak is of course optional, but you might find it too warm in this temperature. However, if you find yourself in colder climes, I think you will appreciate both its look and its coziness.
Perhaps I will.
Is there anything else I can help you with today?
I think that will take care of my needs.
All right then. They gently scoop up the clothing, which are all layered on top of one another, come out from behind the counter and go down to one knee and hold them out to you like a sacred sword. Wear them with pride, young master.
I'll do my best. Is there any type of changing room here where I'm able to put these on?
I can draw up a changing screen for you if you wish to put them on here.
I would. My current tower is rather warm.
Alright. They will move behind the counter and pull out a accordion set of wooden slats, much like the room dividers you've seen in some of the the inns you've stayed in, and set it up in a corner after clearing away some clothing that was back there, moving it onto the counter and saying, "You may change behind here, sir."
Thank you.
We're always happy to serve here at Radiant Raiment.
Yep, definitely just got overcharged. And that's in my head. Well, it's not even in Cyrus's head. That's just in mine.
So, you acquire your clothing, and Yukikaze peruses his tools.
And I figured out a place to fix Kiwamaro if time permits.
So, you find each other outside of your respective stores.
Alright, did you find anything interesting?
Well, I possibly could fix Kiwamaro if time permits, but I think we're probably going to be gone by the end of the day, right? Potentially.
It's possible.
Yeah.
But if you want to get, I suppose we could get it fixed the next city.
Yeah, that's probably, I might have to do that, but if we do have time, I might want to come back to see if I can get Kiwamaro repaired. But they had some nice swords. I asked them about an idea, and, but we'll see. Anyways, shall we find the Tumble Bahamut now? Are you also, oh no wait, we gotta find my bag.
Yeah, we still need to find you a bag.
I'm not too
and then
picky
we'll go
about
to
it.
either the Temple of Bahamut or the post office, whichever's closest.
I'm a big guy, so I need a decent sized bag that will fit me, and I like a lot of pouches, so other than that, I'm not too picky.
Okay.
So I'd like to I'm communicating this side, so that's what I'm looking for. If we find something, if it seems cost effective, let's just grab it. I don't need to like browse. Like I said, I'm a very practical person when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Okay. So you wander down the street window shopping, quickly running your eyes over whatever wares you see hanging around the stalls, just to quickly get a feel of what's there and whether it's the quality or type of item you're looking for. And one thing that will catch your notice as you move up this shop on the left here, Exotic Beasts of Burden is what it's called. And it's noticeable because you hear the sound of animals inside, large animals.
Time to keep moving. Don't let Vendar see this.
Yeah, that's very true. We'll just keep.
Vendor's here to see it.
But
We'll keep that in mind to like steer him away from this, maybe.
As you walk by, like, having difficulty peeling your eyes away from the shop, like, quickly conferring about how you definitely didn't see it, you notice that there is a black cat in front of the shop watching you go by, just sort of, like, intermittently rubbing itself against the wooden frame of the door, and then going back to watching you, and you notice that it has one green and one blue eye. Or yellow.
Oh no.
There he is. It watches you pass. Further up the street, you will find a place that sells leather goods, which includes leather armor, boots, gloves, and bags. Bags of all sizes. Belt pouches, belts.
Ooh, I'm running into a few
sling
of those.
bags, messenger bags, backpacks, things with one pocket, things with bunches of pockets, things with detachable pockets.
Alright, so I'll just get one that's a nice big hefty bag, pretty durable, but in lots of pockets. And also I'll be like, Cyrus, do you think I could get like 4 small pouches, like belt pouches? Because a stupid thief that I still need to punch in the face, cut a couple of mine open. And they also got melted, so
Yeah, if you ever need to repair your stuff, just tell me what the bill's gonna be.
The
Alright,
Goliath
so, yeah.
inside looks over the damage and says, "It's honestly more worth it to replace these than repair them. The leather is just gone. There's nothing I can do for these."
Yeah, so I'll get so in Ultras and whatever it costs for a nice backpack and 4 pouches.
Okay.
Nothing crazy, nothing crazy.
Alright, they'll charge you 8 gold pieces.
Alright. And we will mosey on and be like, alright, so I sure need to head to the temple. Oh, and also thank you very much again for spotting me with this.
You're welcome.
Cyrus, pay the man.
Indeed.
Oh, actually, before we step away, Cyrus, do you know where, did I remember seeing where this, a temple that would worship Bahamut, or did I see anything like that?
Did you see a Temple of Bahamut?
Yeah,
not
this
along
is-
this
this is-
street. This is the market district, but
This is voice in the sky, like, did I ever see one while I've been in town?
I mean, you could always just, like, ask around people on the street, and they...
That's what I'm getting at. I'm asking you what I know before I proceed.
Yeah, so if Yuki is just willing to ask somebody that he's walking past, they'd say, yeah, there's a Temple of Bahamut to the west, maybe 4 blocks over.
I was actually gonna ask Cyrus if he knew it, and then do that. Was gonna be my train of thought. I was gonna be like, do I know where this is? No. Cyrus, do you happen to know?
I do not.
Alright, and then I will ask random passerbyers.
Mm-hmm. Yep, you'll get information good enough to follow to find what you're looking for.
Alright.
And so they'll direct you to the Temple of Bahamut. It takes you a little while to get there. Didn't draw it. Sorry.
And as we're starting to walk, I'll be like, yeah, there was nothing else you needed, Cyrus? Like, we're all good?
I have everything I need.
Alright.
Luckily, unlike most, my spells don't require any type of components, generally.
Alright. So, you come to a modest-sized building. It is nothing like the sports field that was the Temple of Cord, with its many outbuildings and an area for tents and sparring. It is not like the massive stone behemoth that is the Temple of Ion's library and museum. But it is also much greater than the small shrine of Ione. This building is like, you know, maybe a 18th century schoolhouse kind of thing. It looks like it could hold for a single, if they were to have a service there, you know, somewhere between like 50 and 75 people in the seating area. And it has several draconic statues, and one central one that is very much Bahamut himself gazing down upon his following, with wings spread across the walls. This stone sculpture is built into the back wall of this place and looms over the pulpit.
Alright.
There are a few acolytes inside, dressed in the colors of Bahamut, the silver and blue. And they welcome you to the temple. There are Dragonborn acolytes as well as Goliath and Tiefling acolytes. A Dragonborn will approach you as you enter Yukikaze and say, "Greetings, brother. What brings you to the Temple of Bahamut today?"
I'm just coming to pay my respects to Lord Bahamut.
Of course, of course. There is another service by the resident priest in about 2 hours' time, if you'd wish to attend that. But if you wish to meditate, you may use any of the seats here.
For now, I will meditate, and I may attend the service, but I haven't decided yet. Thank you.
Brother, may I ask you a rather personal question?
Sure.
Your armor is a particular make. Fine.
Yes.
Was it made to resemble Bahamut's own?
No.
Small smile creeps across my face.
No, actually, this is actually part of the armor of our. Oh wait, hold on. It's the
One of the gifts of
the
Bahamut.
scion. Well, yeah, it's the.
Oh, the scion
What
of
I just say
Arcosia?
this? Or no, well, Shagrazir wore it, so it was. I was thinking.
He had two titles that he had been known by. One was the Scion of Arcosia, and the other one was the
Oh,
Avatar
that's
of
right.
Bahamut.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So I'm gonna say it's like this is actually one part of the gifts of Bahamut.
And he's actually going to take a step back and put a hand up wardingly. Say, "You blaspheme by wearing it?"
I step away.
I would never do such a thing.
Then how come you buy it?
I wear it because the place that the armor was held was destroyed and under siege, and I could not just leave the armor. We could not just leave the armor there.
Light on dragon above. So, the stories
Have
were
you
true
heard-
that Arcosia has fallen?
Yes.
This is
And
a grave day.
Yeah, and there are two of the pieces are still missing, and we're trying to find them.
You are seeking them out.
We
I
are.
cannot just leave them in the hands of people that or others that do not follow Bahamut.
And what will you do with them once you have them?
Ask for Lord Bahamut's blessing in using it to fight evil dragon, and then return him to a temple.
He seems to consider you. He straightens up and looks you up and down, very measuring with his eyes. He says, I believe you, brother. If this is Bahamut's will, then you will succeed. And what I saw yesterday, we need a champion of our Lord to step forth and defeat this evil before it can take root and destroy the world around us.
I will not claim to be a champion of our Lord, but I will hope that he will bless me in these endeavors.
I think that even Shagrazir himself did not claim the title. It was bestowed upon him. If you are worthy, it will happen. And if not, someone else will take up the mantle.
I thank you for your words.
Good luck, my brother.
And to you.
May the temple always be a place of guidance for you in your journey. Platinum Guard, watch over you.
Thank you. And I will head over. Cyrus, I'm gonna head over to meditate. And then I'll proceed to go meditate.
Okay.
I'll probably join you for a little while.
I should probably put in what I'm gonna say a few words to Lord Bahamut as a prayer, and I will send it to you. Just give me a minute.
Jebel, why don't you tell me what you're up to?
What am I up to?
Stiff like cat.
Yeah, Stella's on the desk in front of my keyboard and purring.
Yeah. I don't have any money at all. Who's with me?
Who is with you?
Uh,
Vendar's off by himself, so you're not with him. So that leaves, we had Leah and Lara Mendes, and Cyrus and Yukikaze.
Guys,
So-
I'll be right back.
So that leaves Raiken.
Yeah, Jebel is left with Raiken.
I mean, Raiken was just wandering around the town. He had no goals.
Just wander him endlessly.
Yep.
It's short, Tristan, but it's not.
Okay.
I suppose Jebel would head in the direction of the cart and see, like, if it's under heavy guard.
You're going to go looking for the cart?
Yeah.
Okay, you're going to need to roll some investigation.
That's an 8.
Okay, you wander around the city trying to track down leads and looking for signs of it, but hours pass and you find nothing but crowds of worried-seeming people moving about slowly and buying and selling. It seems like the place is kind of slowed down a lot. It's moving again, which is better than when the dragon was attacking, but it's very much subdued. But you do not find any signs that lead you to believe that you've located the cart. Wherever it's being kept, they're being secretive about it.
Okay. Suppose in that case. Potion. Well, I would probably head to the Temple of Ione to see about learning more potions. If they have more potion recipes.
Like information on how to make them, or for sale?
Information on how to make them.
Okay.
Formula.
Yeah.
Recipes.
You after giving up on looking for the wagon, you can make your way back to the Temple of Ione. It's a big city, so, you know, you're a small person. It takes you a while to get around, but you make it back to the Temple of Ione, and begin checking shelves in obvious places and less obvious places. You will notice as you're going around the stacks looking for the info, that Leah is hanging around there. Leah, would you have continued to read as you waited for the book to be transcribed, or gone somewhere else?
Good question. I think I would just browse in the library. See if I find anything, just stumble upon anything interesting.
Okay. I'll, think about what you might stumble upon. Try to catch up on all the things, make sure that I'm capturing everything. Did you get my message there, Thomas? Not Thomas. Jacob?
I'm back.
Okay, so Cyrus and Yukikaze, after the acolyte excuses himself, Yukikaze is going to take a seat on one of the benches and begin praying, I assume in Draconic.
Of course.
Okay. So he's going to offer a short prayer, and he's going to spend some time seeming to meditate. He's going to be slowing his breathing, you know, closing his eyes and focusing himself in the moment. And after a short while of that, just a few minutes of that, he's going to suddenly stiffen up next to you, and he's going to throw his head back and seem to stare up at the ceiling. You can see that his eye is rolled back, though, so he could not see it were he looking. And he's going to spend several long moments, perhaps a full minute, like this, before he begins breathing again, heavily, and regains himself. You will see as he pulls out this chain around his neck, drawing out this star-shaped pendant from his armor that's going to have 3 of its 5 points illuminated, one with a dark purple light, one with a ominous green light, and finally one with a radiant red light.
I wonder what purple would be.
Now, do I do what I did before where I'm almost seizuring, or is this a more mild one?
This is not as bad as last time.
Okay.
Bet you've read through what I sent you.
I'm reading it thoroughly, so I'm taking my time trying to process it real quick.
Okay.
Are you alright, Yukikaze?
I, you know, I didn't expect to have this happen again since I've been gone so long from a temple. But I had another vision. I've had these before. You probably was Cyrus. This is the first one. No, second one. Cyrus has been around for. No, first.
The first one was in Bromdor. Cyrus was not there.
Yes. Oh, well, the first one you were with me when I got, yeah. So yeah, I've had these happen before. Cyrus previously that was pointed us toward this direction of Toralos. Yeah, I know, Tristan.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
for
why I
us.
sent it just to you.
Yep. So, I need a second to collect myself.
Does this happen often?
No, but I was caught off guard. Not that I'd be expecting him anyways, but I think we'll definitely have to reconvene with the group, and I'll have to we'll discuss this when we're all together.
Alright. Just make sure you don't forget it. This sounds important.
Oh, trust me, I won't forget it. If it's anything like the ones before, this is gonna be important for everyone.
Okay. Raiken, is there anything in particular you're looking for as you wander through the city, or that would catch your attention if you were to happen upon it?
Real quick before we move on.
Yeah.
How long has it been? Well, it was just a few minutes of us being there at the temple, right?
I mean, the whole, like, since you entered the temple to the end of your vision was, like, 15 minutes.
Okay.
That includes your conversations.
The visions are a bit draining, right?
Your muscles feel tired and drained because you were stiffened up during the vision.
I think for now, since we kind of have the time, okay. So Cyrus, how quickly do we feel we need to get back? Cyrus?
Sorry, I guess I must have missed part of that.
I
heard how quickly something.
How soon should we head back? I'm thinking about just relax and maybe watch this part of this sermon before we take off. What are your thoughts?
Well,
it's in an hour and a half it'll start.
We have one other stop to make. Do we know how far away the post office is from here?
I would, well, so I'll just say, how about just give me an hour, or give me at least 30 minutes before we take off then.
Hold on. If we can make it to the post office and back within this hour and a half, then I suggest we do that, and then you can come back and watch this sermon. So, Tristan, do we know roughly how long it would take to get to the post office from here?
A long time. So, you are here. The post is here.
Yeah, it's quite a ways.
Guess my stream froze. One moment.
It's across town, dear Cyrus.
Yeah, pretty much on the opposite end. It would take you over an hour to get there, even following the big main roads. Even if you had Leah, it would probably take you over an hour.
Yeah, so I'll just say, give me like 30 minutes or so, and then we can get going.
Yeah, we have quite a walk, so I'm sorry, but I don't think we'll be able to stay.
That's fine.
If you want,
okay.
I can just leave you here and go by myself. The town should be fairly safe at the moment.
It's probably not the best idea. So I'll and if Cyrus is cool with it, I'll end there.
Okay. Alright. So, Raiken, is there anything that would draw your attention as you wander the city?
No.
You just want to see the sights?
Yep.
Okay. So, as you wander the city, you are seeing both sides of humanity, humanoid-anity at this point, because there is the life that buds and grows back after great destruction and devastation, and it is juxtaposed to that very destruction and devastation, which leaves a lasting scar on society. As you walk these streets, you see the flags and the flagstones, that is to say, and the buildings that have been deeply and permanently damaged by the acid attacks from the dragon, and you see the places where the what vegetation can be found. The desert flowers have been left in memorial of people who fell during that attack, but you also see some people rallying and trying to spark joy and to spark this rebellious nature of humanoids to keep them going in this time of great suffering. And it's heartening, and simultaneously it's desperate, and it's saddening to see that, like, such a vibrant, active place that has enjoyed so many years of peaceful trade, and because of their particular position, like sovereignty and lack of war and suffering in this nature, brought so low by this attack from the dragons. And as you walk, just these gutted and partially melted remains stand as these hollow vestiges at the sides of the road, eerie echoes of the life that once went on within the halls and walls of these buildings. Meanwhile, building exactly next door, completely untouched, with candles lit, and people, preparing foods or doing wash inside, very clearly alive and moving on as best they can. It's
like black and white.
Yeah. It's tough. But the whole time you are reminded of the burden you have undertaken to be the champion of Cord, and to bring this will to fight and this living spirit to the people, to be a beacon of rebellion, as it were, this refusal to be beaten and to die and to fade.
Yeah. Raiken will feel reinvigorated in his path of vengeance towards now not only Bala, but the rest of the dragons.
Okay. It is just about 11 now. I let us go a little longer because we got started a bit late. and there were a lot of things I wanted to address, and there's still more things to address when we come back, but I think that was pretty good for now. There's, Jacob, I think that you and I need to finish up some things, but that's in text, so we can continue on that. Okay? Cool.
Okay.
Alright, so are we good to call it there, given the time?
Yep. I'm
Seems
good,
reasonable.
man.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm partly asleep already anyway.
I hope the things that you got to do with Leah were meaningful to you.
Yeah, it was in the beginning and it's late, so I think that's...
Okay. Well then, everybody, please take 700 roleplay experience.
Woo!
And we will see you again next week. Hopefully next Tuesday. We'll work for everyone's schedule. We've been on a roll. Let's keep it going.
Well, I mean, there's nothing else to do. These times.
Some people still have to go to work.
Like me,
In the
because
United
I'm
States,
go to
yeah.
work.
Norway's practically
People
all
need their
closed.
pizza.
What'd you say, Jacob?
So I still gotta go to work. People need their pizza.
Yes, they do.
People need milk.
I will say that the in this time of quarantine and uncertainty, I am eternally grateful to the people who continue to do, especially food service and delivery and supermarket jobs, because in those places where people can have not been able to stock up, being able to go to the grocery store and pick things up to keep them going is great. And so, thank you guys who are doing that work.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
It'd be nice if I could go to the store and actually have anything, but every time I go, they're completely sold out of everything.
Hopefully, within a month, we'll be in better shape, but we haven't reached the peak yet, so we'll know once we reach the peak better how long we'll have to put up with this.
luckily.
I will say that my store today wasn't as busy as it was last week, so I don't know if people are slowing down on their purchasing. We only had a small rush in the morning for toilet paper, and otherwise that was it.
Thomas and I will let you know when the peak is coming your way, considering Europe is a little ahead.
Yeah.
When I say a little, Norway has been struggling.
Everywhere. Everyone's been struggling.
I think we're past 2,000 cases at this point.
Our stores have actually toned down quite a bit too. Like I was able to get some ground beef recently, which was delicious.
Yeah.
I
Of course,
love
at the
these
same
meals,
time,
like potatoes.
we got a small truck today too, so I think now we're at the distribution centers have like put out all their stuff, and now they're trying to replenish fast enough to be able to start getting it to the stores again.
Also,
Stores here are still extremely busy.
Like empty busy or lots of people busy?
Empty, lots of people, everything. It's
Ooh.
absolutely nuts.
Usually when I see lots of people, I turn around and go home.
Yeah, same.
Alright, I'm gonna end the stream. Thank you guys.